Ciao, 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 six-figure wedding and event business owners. Hi, hi, hi. How are you? Welcome, welcome. Felici Friday. Excited to be here with you guys today, talking to you about, with this free training masterclass today, how to turn your creative event pro genius superpower into a cash cow. Yes, it is absolutely possible, especially right now when our industry is experiencing a boom, right? We're able to, the wedding renaissance is what I call it, which for me renaissance means just changing the way we do things, right? A time to reinvent ourselves, and we've been able to do that just as the world as a whole, quite frankly, since the pandemic, since all these changes started taking place. So I'm excited to be here with you guys today because, I talk to all of you pretty frequently. I'm immersed in the wedding and event industry. I myself have an event production company. I own a blog where I showcase amazing couples and venues that are here locally in the Southern California area to promote their business and promote what we have to offer here in Santa Barbara. So I'm really very hands-on and both feet in the water when it comes to our industry. So I get to talk to you all about the trials and tribulations and the challenges and the successes and all those amazing things. And what drives me to do what I do is because what I have found in doing this, it'll be 16, I think 17, 18 years now, something like that. Um, Working in this industry is that there is such amazing talent out there. We are creatives and we are a completely different brand, a completely different animal than most other industries that I've ever worked in and experienced. And because of that, we're very passionate. We're very service driven. We wear our hearts on our sleeves. We're driven to really help our clients get exactly what they're looking for. And also, we're entrepreneurs. So we're trying to juggle this creativity, this event pro superpower, as I call it, or creative genius, as I call it. And sometimes it's hard to balance the two. And I know this for a fact because that's the feedback I get from my clients and couples. And what drove me to do what I do today is actually a mediocre 3-star Yelp review. And I talk about this quite frequently, where this couple waited until after their amazing wedding was over. They had a great time. They thanked me, they hugged me, they gave myself and all these other vendors gratuities. And we had a great time planning their wedding and so forth. I did notice that along the way, they were not choosing any of the vendors that I was referring to them. And I thought, well, I don't know, maybe I'm just not hitting the nail on the head. But this 3-star Yelp review talked about how I was referring them the right people for the most part, the ones that they chose, but the other ones, which were on the more creative side, like the florists and the musicians and the designers, their websites specifically, they say this in their Yelp review, that the websites looked like they were from the 90s and that their price point seemed out of context, or that they didn't see the value essentially. And I thought to myself, gosh, if I know that these vendors are amazing and a good fit for them, and obviously in that Yelp review, it's obvious that I was able to connect them with the right fit because they did talk to that, but they just were not, these vendors were not showcasing their talents and their services. And I know it because I work alongside them. And I thought to myself, gosh, if I know it and I'm the only one who knows it, and I can't even get my own clients to even consider them as a potential candidate for their wedding and to be a vendor for their wedding, imagine how many other people who never even got a referral for them just bypassed them. And I went to those vendors and I said, gosh, we've got to do something because you're so talented and your messaging, your website, your digital footprint is not reflecting any of that. So that's what started my passion for taking a stand for our industry, because we're always educating our clients, especially if you're in the wedding world, yeah, in the event world as well, corporate events and so forth, because we're educating them, because each event is different. Everything is, there's no easy formula. We customize everything for each client because everyone has, it's a different venue, it's a different guest count. We're never really replicating the same things. But how can we make sure that we are really speaking to potential clients so that we can showcase our talents, our value, and all of this, and really attract the perfect clients for us? So it was that one measly Yelp review that drove me to do this. So let's get right into the training and talk about how to turn this creative genius, your event pro superpower, into a cash cow, because that's what ultimately people are looking for. And the first thing is I'm going to tell you is I'm going to share with you the three secrets that I learned, right? And secret number one is that you have to appraise your value and appraise your worth. Well, okay, great. What do I mean by that? I was actually just talking to a fellow, she's a makeup artist last night, and we were talking about, she's been doing this for about 16 years, and I've known her for our entire time. We essentially started our own businesses right around the same time. And we were talking about how sometimes we feel like, oh my gosh, am I overcharging? Is that like we just have this belief around money and what our value is and what we charge. And especially because the more talented we are, the easier things come to us, the less it feels like work. And there's this belief that we have to work harder, things need to be difficult in order to charge accordingly, but that's not the case. And that's what I mean by appraising your value and your worth, right? Because there's two main reasons why you might not be charging what you're worth. You either don't see the value in what you do. That's myth number one. You don't see the value in what you do, meaning exactly that. Like, just because it's so easy for me to plan events, or I see design really quickly, or this makeup artist is able to whip up this creature into a beautiful face in no time and make them look flawless. uh, it comes so easy to us, so we don't see the value in what we do. So we really want to get to the core of that. And also, the second myth to bust is that we believe that if we start charging more, no one will pay for it, that we're going to get out of our league, or that we're not going to get any business, we're just going to be bypassed. And you guys, I am here to tell you that if you have either one of these beliefs instilled in you, you've got to crush it right now. You have got to stop it, stop it, stop it, because this is exactly what's holding you back from running a business versus running a hobby. Because what happens when you undervalue your worth, you're underpricing your services, right? You're underpricing yourself. And again, like I was talking about with the makeup artist last night, she's like, I see all these young people and they're just charging an arm and a leg and this and that. And I don't see, I know that I'm worth more, but I don't see how that's relevant. Well, what happens is you're underpricing your own services. And when you do that, you either succumb to negotiations, or you're creating yourself as a cheaper option, or you're creating yourself as, oh yeah, everything is flexible. This is, you don't really have a price point or a pricing structure, or you're just trying to wing it as you go along. And then what happens is you're known as the cheap option, because either you're underpricing yourself, people will want to negotiate with you, you're seen as a hobbyist, right? You're not seen as a true business. And then people think you're the cheap option. They're going to start saying, hey, yeah, if you want a cheap option, go to so and so. And you're not recognized as the best option. You're not seen as someone and what their worth is, what their value is. And the worst part about this is that when you're underpricing yourself, all of this keeps cyclicaling through. And it's really a hard cycle to break, because once you're known as the cheap option, you can never get out of underpricing your services. And because you're not having that confidence, you're staying in this lower pool, you're succumbing to those negotiations. So appraising your value and worth means you have to look at it this way, because you're not selling your time and you're not selling your knowledge. You can't compare yourself to what the timing or the knowledge is for someone else. What you're ultimately doing is you're selling the value of the result and the outcome you deliver. So what that means is What is the value you're bringing to your clients? When I see as a consumer what if something is worth my time or worth my money, right? Worth it. If something is worth it, it means that I see value in it. So you want to turn around and be the consumer, be the client, and really, really dig into what is the value of the result you're offering these clients? What is the outcome that you deliver for them? It's not the amount of time you spend on them. It's not the knowledge and knowing this and that and here and there. It's really a combination of the two. What is the problem that you're solving? You've heard that many, many times. And oftentimes, when we're in the service industry, it's hard for us to decipher what that is exactly, right? It's much easier if you have a tangible product and you're like, oh, it cost me this much. My markup is 30%. So I'm going to sell it for this much. But when it's our time and our knowledge and our experience and the services, it's a lot more difficult to go into that. So you really want to be the eye of the consumer, be the eye of the client in order to appraise your value and your worth. So essentially, what we're talking about, putting yourself in a scenario where you are exactly what your perfect client wants. When they are reading about you, listening about you, trying to figure out, do I want this makeup artist, that makeup artist? Do I want this planner, that planner? They stop and they are like, oh, this is exactly who I want because I see the value in them and they're understanding what I want. So you want to be directly talking to those clients, right? So with this, I'm going to share with you guys. I love talking about this. I talk this story all the time about value and worth. Okay. And I call it my lemon seed story. And I learned this early in my career in my 20s. I come from luxury resorts, 5-star service. And a lot of what I learned when I started in corporate America in the luxury market is what I knew and what I learned. And I adopted this into my own business. And that's what's led me to the success, having this mindset, having this foundation, and having these beliefs and understanding why we do them. So the lemon seed story is this. When I was working with Four Seasons Hotels, like I I was a 21, 22-year-old assistant manager, and I was telling these servers that were 45 years old, making six figures. I was training them. I was like, who am I to tell them what to do, right? But one of the things that they were required to do, one of their side work was to when they cut the lemons for iced tea, for lemonade, for lemon with water, Arnold Palmer, was to not only slice the lemons right into little wedges, but take an extra split of a second. It costs no time at all to just cut the lemon seeds out. You just cut that little center part and just take the lemon seeds out, right? And so that's what I'm saying. It's not about the time, right? It's not about knowing to do this. So it's not the knowledge, it's not the time. It is the value. What is that worth it? Why do we do that? Well, here's what happens. Here's the outcome that the client has or the consumer has is like me, I love my Arnold Palmers. I love my lemon water. I love squeezing my lemon in there. When I suck from a straw, I'm now not getting the lemon seed stuck in the straw, stuck in my mouth, having to spit it out. And that's most restaurants, right? Most food and beverage establishments, that's what they do. They just cut the lemons, they throw it in the tub, and then they put it on the iced tea, the lemonade. I like to drink water with lemon, and you have that problem. But here we're eliminating that problem, right? We're creating value in just, even if it's just an iced tea, even if it's just a lemonade. But imagine if you expand that into other aspects of your business, right? It's a problem that we didn't know really existed, or maybe not even a huge problem, right? But at the same time, it's acknowledged as that. And that is what makes them a luxury brand, right? They go above and beyond and they make sure that their clients who are paying $5 for an iced tea versus $1 up the street at an IHOP, that there is value in that. And that's part of the value. So, what is your lemon seed story? How can you incorporate this value and worth into things that you do for your clients? And how can you articulate it, show it, and identify it and talk about it? So that's the lemon seed story, because what happens when you're clear on this part, you're commanding the value at what you truly provide, right? So we're not just providing an iced tea with lemon, we're providing an experience where you're not going to get that lemon seed in your mouth. You're not going to have to spit it out in the middle of lunch with, a business partner or something like that. And what happens as us as the vendors, we're attracting those clients who want those results. They understand. They're like, oh wow, yeah, I had an amazing iced tea experience. And I know we're talking about iced tea, but you want to expand this out into your business, into different areas, and really seeing what those clients want, and understanding that they're coming to you because you're attracting them by your results and you're able to articulate them. So let me ask you, in this scenario, when you increase the value, when you increase the worth, you're able to charge more, right? You're charging accordingly because of that, because you're clear on identifying what's the value, what's the worth. So which option do you think is better for you to hit your income goals? Would you rather do 40 events a year at $2,500 for each event? Or would you rather only give up 10 weekends to do 10 events a year at $10,000 each to hit that $100,000 mark, to hit that six-figure mark? I mean, what happens is you're working four times harder in one, right? Versus the 10 events. 40 events, you're giving up 40 weekends. That's over half the year. That's just a lot of your time and energy. What happens when you are able to increase your value and your worth? Things may take a little bit longer. You're dotting the I's, you're crossing the T's, but your clients get the best outcome. And when your clients get the best outcome, you are at your best. So this becomes now a cycle of providing the best, having the ability and the space to provide the best, and feeling really good about it. And your clients are getting the best out of you. And what happens then is you become a visible leader. So now the cycle is that you become the best of the best. People recognize you as such, and you're on top of the world with this time, space, and energy to provide the best outcomes. Okay. So let's talk about this with ARAN Music Service. They're a client of mine out of Minneapolis, and they've been a family business for over 20 years. And when we started working together, they were getting a few inquiries from the knot. They were getting overlooked by couples who were booking other DJ companies, and they were frustrated with all the challenges because they had amazing 5-star reviews and were really killing it in the business. They just weren't able to convert these potential inquiries, and they weren't getting a lot at the time, just a few here and there. They weren't able to convert them into clients. So what happened is we started working with Nikki at ARAN, and the first thing we did is we identified that niche. What is the company's niche? We got clear. They weren't just a DJ company. Who really were they trying to attract? And what was the value of what those couples are looking for in a DJ company? And as soon as we found out what that value was, what that worth was, what that lemon seed story was for them, we articulated exactly what that company's value provided to those couples looking for DJ companies. And then we updated all of the pricing, all of the worth, all of the value in all of the marketing. We started mastering their messaging. And so what happened once we got super clear on what was that problem, what was that lemon seed story, they were booking perfect clients. They were literally attracting those perfect clients, and they were booking them within a week of the inquiry, regardless of the fact that they had increased their pricing by 30%. So now not only were they articulating their value, they saw the value in what they were offering. They were charging accordingly to that value, and perfect couples were being attracted to them, and they were booking within a week. It wasn't this back and forth negotiation. Let me talk to other vendors, this and that. So what happened rather quickly is they started booking 5 figures a month easily and consistently. And that's what we want, right? We don't want to be blown off by inquiries and ghosted by inquiries. When you're getting ghosted and blown off, it's because you are not articulating your value and your worth. I'll say it one more time. When you are not articulating your value and your worth, that is when you're getting ghosted. That's when you're getting negotiated with. So what's going on with ARAN now? They've had to hire an additional DJ so that they can service those double book dates. They have literally tripled their profits, their revenue, and their bookings within the time that we started working together. So let's talk about secret number two, because I've talked about attracting perfect clients. And it's like, how do we do that? How do we identify who these perfect clients are? So this is the secret formula I want to share with you that when I started using it and I started applying it or sharing it with my fellow wedding and event professionals, we just everything changed in our industry and our business, and we were crystal clear on what that lemon seed was and the ability to articulate it and tell the world what we do and attract those perfect clients. And I call it the Felici matrix. So the Felici matrix, the principle of this is that first, in order to make money, again, you cannot be a hobbyist. This is for tried and true business owners who want to make a profit. In order to make a profit, you have to be clear on who it is that your client is, right? You need that clarity first, and then you need a message accordingly. You need to understand that lemon seed story. You need to be clear on your value. You need to be clear on your worth. You need to be clear on who those perfect clients are and have that clarity, set up that foundation, because then the messaging will follow suit. And once you master that messaging and you're consistent about it, then the perfect clients will start rolling in. So when I'm talking about clarity, I'm talking about what is your superpower? What is your outcome that you provide your clients? What is that problem you solve? Your lemon seed story. And then what do they want? What do your perfect clients want? So I need clarity on what is my superpower? What do I offer? Because I'm not like every other planner. I have completely different abilities and strengths than other planners. And yeah, there's other planners who are just as amazing as I am. And there's other planners who are stronger in other areas and all of that. But by understanding what my superpower is, what's the outcome that I provide my clients, and I pair that up with what do my perfect clients desire, then we're really literally meeting in the middle. Because the old way of doing things, the old way to market is like, I'm just a needle in the haystack, is what I call it, right? Because I'm just casting the net far and wide and trying to attract whoever I can, whatever at any time, any day. And I see this rather often actually in Facebook groups. Like, there's local Santa Barbara groups or people asking like, I need a hair and makeup artist. And there's people who just jump at that opportunity on Facebook. And, I don't know. I mean, I have mixed feelings about that because it doesn't, like, if I were to go out and buy a house because I want to buy a house, I wouldn't jump on the very first house to buy. I have to have some parameters as to who I want to work with. What is this going to build my portfolio? Like, there's just some criteria, right? Instead of casting the net far and wide. So as soon as I'm clear on who do I want to work with, who are my clients, I'm not just selling myself out there to anyone and everyone and looking kind of desperate. And it's the same way here, because this can become very expensive or time consuming if you're paying to be on the Knot, paying to be on Wedding Wire, if you're just constantly updating your website, but you're really mimicking what someone else is saying or looks like, if you're just blogging without really having that clarity on the messaging or who your perfect clients are, if you're expecting word of mouth. This is the worst one right here, word of mouth referrals. But if you're not clear on who your perfect clients are, you're constantly going to get the wrong people coming at you. And then you can never get out of that hamster wheel because you haven't set the foundation on your value, on your worth, on clarity of who your perfect client is. And this is kind of a fingers crossed reactive type of marketing when you do things this way. But what happens is it's a balancing act. You're either trying to keep up with word of mouth, you're trying to keep up with all the digital stuff, and it's an overwhelming balancing act. It's costing you time, it's costing you money, and then you're so busy and it's stifling your creativity. But the way I work this, and when we implement the Felici matrix, is that we start with the foundation of what is that superpower, what is that creative genius? Because you guys, we all have it within us. I do personally, I do much better creating immersive experiences, for example. That's just really my strength. And then I know that there's other planners who they just prefer to have a more, work maybe in hotels and ballrooms and have a more established baseline. I completely thrive trying to build something in a field from nothing. I just really love that, but not everyone is built that way. So what is that superpower? What's that creative genius? even a floral designer, right? Like they have the ability, yeah, they're going to be a good designer, but they have certain abilities to do certain things. And you really want to identify what that is, because then you're going to look at, okay, so what are the, based on what I provide, what are those client needs? So if we're talking about me, if I'm a logistics queen and I love setting up events on a field, who are those clients that need that, right? Who are those clients that what are their pain points? What are they worrying about? What is going on with them? And then I can master my messaging and talk exactly to those people so that they're like, oh, yeah, I wanted to have an event on a field, but I thought I would be overwhelmed because A, B, C, and D. But this person knows what she's talking about. Let me go talk to her because now I can have my event on the field without having to stress out about it. Does that make sense? So then you can master your messaging, because, but you have to set up that foundation of your superpower and your creative genius. And when you do it this way, the new way, it's purposeful and it's proactive marketing, because the Felici matrix allows for your marketing promotion efforts to attract those clients. And once you're attracting those perfect clients, guys, they quadruple up. You're getting new and repeat clients. You're getting that word of mouth referral. And then you're building your business set on the foundation, which is your superpower, versus building your business just hoping you're going to get any client any day, anytime, even though they might be the ones that frustrate you, that negotiate with you, that don't really bring projects that you're super passionate about. Okay, so here's the easy way to think about the Felici matrix. Is first we identify what is your creative genius, what is that superpower, excuse me, and then we appraise what is the value, what is the value that you offer, right? Again, with the lemon seed story, my identifying the creative genius could be, hey, we pull the lemon seeds out of every slice of lemon. What is the value of that, right? What is that iced tea worth versus an iced tea from IHOP that doesn't do that? And then mastering the messaging. Hey, we provide luxury service because we make sure that you don't have to bother with a lemon seed in your mouth, right? And then from there, the people that want that, the people that see the value and want that because they don't want to be embarrassed trying to spit out a lemon seed, or, being in a business meeting with having to deal with that problem. And I know it's kind of silly, but it's the most tangible example I can give you is the lemon seed story. You're attracting more people and they're going to be like, oh my gosh, I went and had lunch there. And guess what? I didn't have to suck down a lemon seed. And then someone's going to be like, oh my gosh, I want that too, because that lemon seed thing, man, I can't believe someone solved that problem and there's someone just for me. So now you're attracting perfect clients and you're getting those repeat clients because they're all talking amongst themselves. And now they're doing that marketing for you. And it's purposeful and it's proactive, meaning that they are coming to you instead of you saying, hey, anyone on the knot, I'm here. I do any wedding. Call me, and so let's talk about Dara from Chicago, because when I met Dara, she'd been in business for 2 years. And what happened is she was lacking that clarity on who was her perfect clients. She knew that. She's like, I'm attracting people, just not the right people. I'm not passionate about what I want. I don't really know what I want. And we had to dig deep a little bit to figure out what her superpower was and how to grow her business, because she was struggling with identifying her creative genius and how to message her brand. So what happened with Dara is that's exactly what we did. We identified that creative genius within her. We revisited her pricing and her services and her messaging on her website and updated it everywhere, right? And we were able to create a system where she's now proactively marketing her value and attracting her perfect clients using the right platforms. And the reason I say the right platforms, you guys, because not all platforms are the same. You don't need to be doing every paid website to bring in business. You don't need to be doing every digital platform, social media magnet to market your business. You really want to focus on this. And that's part of understanding who are those clients and where are they looking. And what happened with Dara once we did this is she gained clarity to market her brand, and she started building her brand easily and effortlessly because she was crystal clear on what her brand is. She's established a successful repeat client program, and within less than a year she opened up her own venue, which was her dream come true, and is now running a six-figure business, right? Just by gaining that clarity. So let's recap these two quick shifts. So we know that we need to operate proactively. We need to appraise our worth, and we need to implement the Felici matrix. So by operating proactively, understanding what is the value that we offer, and implementing the Felici matrix, we're attracting those perfect clients at the value pricing, and we're booking consistent five figures per month. So now let's talk about how to leverage our time so that we can scale our business, because oftentimes we're solopreneurs. How do we do all this? Zoe, I can barely keep up with business as it is today. And this is secret number three, you guys. And you're going to want to pay super close attention, because I've been hit up in the last week by so many vendors that just cannot even keep up with inquiries, right? So, what if you were able to have a streamlined way to attract perfect clients, so you're not having to deal with every inquiry, streamline those things, and really talk to the ones that are a good match for you, that you are a good match for. And I do this with automation, with personalization. Now, it's super important that there is a balance between the two, and that's why I capitalize the with, because automation is one thing and it's so easy to automate, but you do not want your clients to feel like a transaction. And I can tell you, I've seen this time and time again. I get that there's this trend that we don't put our phone numbers on the website, which is great, but that takes away that personalization. You want people to feel taken care of. We are ultimately in the people business. People spend a lot of money for events, and not every event is alike. So not every client is alike. So that's why that personalization is so important while you automate. And the reason I bring this up is because, you guys, we cannot be the boss of everything. We try, trust me. Most of us here are very strong business women who can do it all. We are superheroes. Even men in our industry, like, we just do it all. I just worked last weekend with this amazing lighting crew, and we had to push the envelope to make things happen. That is what we do. And I mean, that's how I choose my vendors, because we like to push the envelopes and we will try to make anything happen, right? But you cannot be the boss of everything, because when you try to do it all, you're going to drop some plates, right? If you're juggling two plates comfortably and someone gives you that third plate, you're going to drop that plate. Imagine that fourth and fifth. You're just literally going to have broken china all over the ground, and your business will suffer the same way when you're juggling this way. And if you try to be the boss of everything, you're going to have a stagnant business, because there's no room to grow. You're doing it all. You're like deer in the headlights, and there's no room for you to look beyond the weeds. You're spinning your wheels, right? You're just constantly in this hamster wheel, just trying to answer emails or take care of current business. You're not doing anything other than keeping up with the same old, like, same thing. Like, if you're just, attracting trying to get any client, and it's not about how many inquiries you get in your inbox, because you could have 100. And I experienced this with the knot, where none of them were worth my time, none of them. But I'm spinning my wheels because I have work ethic, and I have follow-ups and things like that. And now I'm following up with all these people who are not even worth my time. And I found myself spinning my wheels on all these inquiries that weren't my perfect client, versus having time and space to attract and talk to the people who are my perfect clients and book them within a week. When you're trying to do it all, you're constantly in reactive mode. You're late for your meetings, you forget appointments, your inbox becomes your to-do list. You're not growing your business. You're still in that stagnant state. You're in reactive mode. You're putting out fires instead of proactively, whether you're mastering your messaging for marketing, or whether you're proactively taking care of your clients' needs. If you're trying to do it all, you're in that reactive mode. Your clients are telling you what they need versus you providing them what they need. And you're losing those inquiries. You're losing clients. It affects your reputation. You're literally leaving money on the table. I used to wait tables, you guys, and literally there's an expression of being in the weeds. If you try to be the boss of everything, you're going to forget things at tables. You're going to forget to charge for the iced tea, the lemonade, the salad that you make on your own. You're going to, not that guest is not going to have that great experience. They're not going to leave you a big tip because it was a mediocre experience, and they may not ever even come back, and they may tell their friends what a terrible experience it was. So it's no different in our business. When I learned this as a server, I learned that, hey, we need to ask for help, right? There's people available around us. It may not be another server. It could be the manager, but there's a way and a structure to do this. Now, in today's day and age, because I waited tables decades ago before automation, before technology, there is this ability to automate so that you don't necessarily have to hire another team, but you can get some support in running the day-to-day tasks for your business. And this is why I know that it works. Because when I worked for luxury hotels, one of the biggest advantages, again, the foundation that I learned having worked with Four Seasons is that personalization aspect. People feeling as if they're being taken care of. So, for instance, automation with personalization isn't just technology, it's just a trigger of what one thing sets another thing off. So for instance, I call it standard operating procedures. uh, it was literally criteria for running a 5-star restaurant, and there's different criteria, right? And it's a matter of following them, and these criteria are automation triggers. So for instance, the hostess would greet someone at the hostess stand and say, "Hi, how are you? Great. Two for lunch. Great. Can I get your last name for our records? Smith. Perfect. Mr. Smith, follow me." And they would take them to the table, and then they would go to the side station where the server side station was, and there's a little booklet, and they would put table 4, Smith, position 3. Okay. And so now the server, before they even approach the table, would see, oh, okay, position 3 is Smith. We would know where position 3 was, where that table was. And the server would walk up and say, "Oh, Mr. Smith, so lovely to have you for dinner or for lunch," or whatever the case was. And this is this personalization automatically. And now we're feeling taken care of. Mr. Smith's like, "Oh my God, I'm a VIP here." And all it took was 2 things: getting their name, writing it down, right? So that's how I know that this works. This is part of the value that we offer. And these are those activations or automations that help personalize the experience. That's those SOPs, or standard operating procedures. And what happens is when you incorporate these into your business, you can repeat them, and it helps elevate your business. It helps elevate you as a visible leader. It helps elevate your value that you offer, the worth that you offer. And again, it creates the cycle of being able to run a business smoothly, being able to take care of your guests, and up level what you're capable of doing. Once you implement automation or those activations like getting the name, writing it down, and reading it, 4 magical things happen. Number 1, it creates consistency. That means that every single one of your clients, just like Mr. Smith, every single person in that restaurant was recognized by name. The second thing is it increases productivity. When you have these activations, when you have that automation, it frees up your time and allows you to do the things and focus on the things that you need to be doing to run your business day to day. It improves that conversion rate, right? So Mr. Smith, it was his first time in for lunch, and he feels so good. He's going to come back because he feels like a VIP, right? No questions asked. So that conversion rate, that increased from inquiries to clients or repeat clients, goes up undoubtedly. And then it optimizes scalability again, because it frees up your time and it allows you to work on things that will grow your business. And then what happens when you implement personalization? Again, 4 very magical things. With having that personalization, it increases your revenue, you increase your value and your worth. So now, not only do you have your lemon seed story, you can take that to the 9th degree and constantly improve it. The second thing is it creates differentiation because you're doing things your way. You're taking care of your clients based on what they need. You're personalizing it for them. You're not doing the same things across the board. And sometimes with automation, that's what I'm saying, it becomes transactional and you don't want it to be that way. You're able to personalize it and provide that five-star service consistently. And when you have that consistency, you increase loyalty, which gives you those referrals and it brings you that repeat business, and your business, the daily tasks basically start elevating your business and running themselves automatically so that you can take care of your clients, you can grow your team, and you can grow your business and scale. Because by combining both automation and personalization together, you're proactive. You're not going to be in that reactive mode. An activation or an automation could trigger an email before you have your first meeting with someone so that they have a form to fill out. They can prepare their thinking, and it's saving you time and it's giving them the experience to have five-star white glove service with you. And then you become that visible leader. You're an authority, right? People trust you and they have a great experience with you. And what allows when you do this is that you're scaling your business and you're leveraging your time while you're in your creative genius, because you're not having to deal with those droll, mundane tasks all the time. So if you're a floral designer and you got into it because you love flowers and putting floral together, you're not having to deal with contracts back and forth and the paperwork and all of that. Implementing the automations in the area that you need to for your business will allow you to stay in that creative genius. And what happens is four very magical things, you guys. You're going to have more time, you're going to be making more money, and you're going to be working in your superpower a lot more often. And that means you are going to be much happier and your clients are going to be happy as well. So that is the three secrets, you guys, to really create a cash cow out of your business and live in your creative superpower. So if you're ready to take action now, if you want to implement that automation with personalization, if you want to implement that lemon seed story into your business and into your marketing, and if you're ready to really look at your value and your worth and articulating that to your clients, but you don't know how to start, let's start with a free digital audit. It's a 15-minute audit. Look at your automations, look at your personalization, look at your marketing, look at your online presence, and it's free to you. Go make an appointment with me, and you guys, space is limited. You've got to sign up now. Use go.oneshub.com /15-minute digital audit to make that appointment with me. It'll be 15 minutes for us to take a quick look at what's going on with your business right now. Where are those opportunities? Where are those successes? And how can you get to a cash cow, money making business, a six-figure company before you know it, constantly over and over, without having to give up a lot of time, without having to give up your super genius, and without having to give up the joy of why you got into this business in the first place. So go to go.oneshub.com, 15 minutes digital audit. It's right here, and I'll put it also on the notes, on the comments of this master class. Space is limited. Sign up now. I've only opened up a few spots to talk to you and take a deep dive into your business. So I hope that was super helpful for you guys. And I really appreciate your time today. And let's do it. Let's do what we love and make money doing it. There is no reason why you can't do that too. I'm here for help and support. Feel free to private message me if that's easier for you. And like I said, go.oneshub.com, 15-minute digital audit. And it'll be the best 15 minutes you'll ever spend on your business to look at what's working, what's not working, and how can you capitalize on the boom that's happening and get those systems and processes and elevate your services and become a visible leader right now. I'll talk to you next time. Ciao for now.